When you think about private equity, the stereotype that comes to your mind is the liquidation play. The liquidation play is not the only one, it was not the first, it is not the most common, but it is the most famous private equity play. Movies like Barbarians at the Gate, Wall Street, Other People's Money, and even Pretty Woman shows how the liquidation play was famous in the early 90s in the United States. Even though the liquidation play is not the most common value play nowadays, it is still an important part of the private equity mindset. Welcome to the Playbook series. I'm Luis Senra and I'm the head of Peloton's Value Creation Advisory. In this series, we are going to explore the most common plays used by private equity firms to create company value. In the private equity world, it is quite common to talk about the value play and not value strategy. The play represents a series of actions that we know will create substantial value. The liquidation play, the orphan company play, the consolidation play, the replicate play, and the spearhead play are just a small sample of the different ways we can create company value. Choosing the value play is a crucial moment in the pre-acquisition assessment and will guide most of the research during the company assessment phase. By the end of the company assessment, the chief value strategist will select the value play based on the cash system mix and some additional factors. The liquidation play was the most common private equity play in the 90s, and it marks the first widespread used private equity play. The liquidation play will create value by buying a group of companies, a parent company, and individually selling each one of its companies. The value concept behind the liquidation play is quite simple. The sum of the parts is bigger than the whole company. This can happen because of two reasons: sinkholes or discount rate dragging. Sinkholes are cash systems that are destroying value. They are worth more dead than alive. It means that their net tangible assets value is bigger than the cash flow value. Discount rate dragging happens when the core business is riskier than the non-core business. When it happens, the cash flow generated by the non-core business is over-discounted because of the core business risk. Both situations will diminish the individual value of some business units and are value creation opportunities. In the liquidation play, you are not trying to improve company operations. The value will come from liquidating sinkholes and separating risk. The ideal target is a diversified conglomerate, a group of unrelated businesses under the same parent company. At the end of the company assessment, you will probably find a cash system structure with one or two profitable clusters, notable different discount rate between business activities, several sinkholes, and unrelated investments. A good example of the liquidation play is the RJR Nabisco acquisition by KKR in 1988. This is one of the most famous private equity acquisitions, and it was the largest LBO at that time. RJR Nabisco was an American conglomerate with operations in several industries, including tobacco, biscuits, potato crisps, fresh fruit, juice, logistics, and even 20% of ESPN. After the acquisition, KKR quickly sold most of the international non-tobacco business like Smith's to PepsiCo, Belin and Nabisco UK to Danone, Del Monte to Polypack, and others. They also sold ESPN stake to Haas Communication. After the cleaning the house, they used almost $7 billion from business and asset sales to refinance the LBO's massive debt and became public again in 1991 with a good profit. Lately, the tobacco business was spun off to protect the food business from the tobacco risk. The liquidation play is still a valid and highly profitable play. However, large liquidations are quite uncommon nowadays, mostly because it's hard to find a good target company. After the liquidation era, the private equity world has developed several different plays to create company value. But it's impossible to deny how influential the liquidation play is to the modern private equity thinking. In the next episode, we are going to talk about the first value play, the orphan company play. Thanks for coming. See you next time.